Hi, good morning. I don't even have my glasses on. Um, okay, so last night, I didn't sleep well because I took less medicine and so I felt like little needles were poking me. So I went to my closet and before we went to bed, Bruce gave Brinkley one of those flea pills. It's like a Capstar or whatever pill, and so Brinkley has been evidently torturing him all night long and has been walking or running up and down the hallway all morning long because he needed somebody to let him out, which nobody did. So I have to clean up the mess in the hallway. And it was like all morning long, back and forth, back and forth. And I was just glad he didn't find my door because he doesn't bother my door. He scratches on Bruce's or Alex's door, but he leaves my door alone. So it did kind of wake me up a little bit earlier this morning, but we have our morning show at 9, and it is 7:49 right now, so I have to still put makeup on and stuff so we can do our chicken of the week. And so I managed to get all the dogs outside, including the Chihuahua, but it's wet and cold outside, so the Chihuahua will probably start fussing. And I'm not having coffee today. I'm having tea, so my tea is steeping. I'm doing chai tea, and I'm doing kind of a Christmassy version with I added some what are those tiny, not tangerine, but mandarin oranges. So I cut up a mandarin orange and put it in the tea, and I put chai tea and clove, cinnamon. I ground up some nutmeg, and then what else did I do? I put some sugar in, organic sugar, and cinnamon. Did I say cinnamon? Clove. I guess that's it. Yeah. So anyway, normally I put like ginger and stuff in there too, but I decided I just wanted it to be kind of Christmassy tasting today. I'll kind of change it up later on, and usually I'll make like my little pot of tea, and Justin gave me a warmer so I can put it on the warmer and it kind of stays warm through the day, and I can just add different things to it through the day. Or I have another warmer also that is it's like a metal, like one of those metal ones that you when you go to like the tea what is that tea place that's I know you're probably saying what it is. Anyway, it's that a Teavana. Yeah. Okay. You buy those. They have all their teas. They keep warm with the Teavana and the little tea light underneath it. Is that why they call it a tea light? Anyway, so what was I gonna say? Yeah. See, there's the Chihuahua because it's cold and wet, and he's like, "Let me in because it's cold and wet," and I went in right now. So hold on just a minute. Otherwise, that's going to continue. I'll be right back. Okay, so Chihuahua's in. Megan's rooster's crowing. And I actually got some of my tea. Yay. It's probably too hot. That's good. That's Christmassy. The only thing it lacks is like apple juice. And orange juice. Yeah, see, I can make a really cool like Christmas. I think it goes back to when we were kids in choir. We would go to choir competition, and they would have this thing that had this spiced tea in it. That you would go over, and they, for like $1, they would give you this little cup of this tea, and it was like this, like Red Hots and Tang and tea, and I don't remember what it had in it, but it was good, and we had it at our choir competitions, and so it's kind of like I don't know, it's like a tradition. So last night we were talking about. I told Bruce, I said, you always make me, well, he doesn't make me. I do. I tease him, and it makes me look evil when we do our radio show. And I say, you never tease me back. And he's like, well, I can't think of anything that you do that. And I'm like, yeah, I tease you. That's annoying, isn't it? So he was like, well, yeah. Well, yes. Well, he does this morning on the show. Should be fun. I'm trying to think of which chicken of the week I want to bring out. I kind of want to bring Henny. She's one of my originals. She's a Rhode Island Red, and she is the one who jumps on my back whenever I'm in there cleaning or whatever. She likes to pester me. And you would think she's been my chicken for 3 or 4 years, something like that. Anyway, you would think she would stop pooping on my back, but she doesn't. She still does. And you can always tell when she's been on my back because I have like mud prints, big chicken mud prints on my back. So I always make sure that my shirt is changed when I come inside. They have those tattoos that you can get that have like, chicken feet. And I'm like, that's what I need. Chicken feet tattoo. With Henny's name under it. And then up here, some little smaller ones. This is Maggie. And that needs to actually go on Bruce. Maggie's more into hopping on whoever doles out the scratch, and he does the scratch. So did I tell? I guess I told you that Rocky kapowed me. Rocky, my giant rooster, kapowed me. I had my head in this small coop, and he just wham got me, and he didn't do any damage. It was fortunately it was just he just kicked me. There are no bruises, no scratches or anything, so I was fortunate. But I mean, he was like here. I was like, oh my God, he's gonna kick me in the head, and he didn't. But I tell you what, when a rooster, I'm not scared of my roosters. I'm not scared of my roosters. So I didn't even flinch. I just grabbed that sucker. And I was like, you want me to eat you? Because I'll eat you. And, boil you in a pot. I'll barbecue you. But then we also have this little rooster that I was considering doing for chicken of the week that we call Biter. So I don't know if I'll do that one. But anyway, so yesterday was it was a rough day for me. I had when you have depression, you've got like some days are just bunk. I mean, just bad. So that's why I took less medicine, because the medication that I'm on can increase your depression. And so, because I'm on Lyrica, and it can mess you up. So I took less last night, and of course then didn't sleep very well. But like yesterday, it was like a really, really down day, and so I got up from my nap. I hate having to take a nap. I hate naps. I mean, I love naps, but I hate having to take a nap. I want the day just to keep going. Have a good day, a productive day, just keep going, just like do all the stuff, get everything done, and then be done at the end of the day and go to bed, feel good. That's what I want. But I'd lose my energy and stuff, and then literally, I'm wiped. So I have to take a nap. And then when I got up from my nap, I was in the lowest place. It's just not going on. He has his Alexa alarm going, and so he's saying, "Alexa, stop! Alexa, stop!" Anyway, that's funny. So Bruce was in the studio, so I went in the studio, and I was like having a bad day, and he's like, "I'm sorry. Should I do something to cheer you up?" And I'm like, "Try harder than that." Come on, Schwartz, figure it out. So it's like, it's like, when he's having a bad day, I'm like, okay, let's go. Come on, Schwartz, we can do, When I'm having a bad day, he's kind of like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not good at that. Come here. You come up and say hi? Yeah. Oh, goodness. Almost didn't make it. Say good morning. Go say good morning. Look, you're right there. Say good morning. Say, no, I don't want to. I just want to curl up on your lap and be done. So anyways, we have our show in an hour. 1 minute less than an hour. And Justin's going to join us this morning, so that'll be fun. He wants some of Mama's tea. So yesterday we have this book, and I'm trying to think of who writes it. I can't remember. Anyway, it's a Kindle book that came with Kindle Prime. You get some books that you get for free. Stop it. That's like you drool. It's like all over the place. So you get these, some books for free when you have a Kindle Prime account, and this is one of those, and it's about imaging, and he's a pastor, and he I think he writes the book The Power of Positive Thinking or something like that. And so he, there goes Schwartz. He will walk like Sasquatch in the morning, honey.
I let the dogs out this morning at 5:15.
Yes, Brinkley.
And he's still up to Tootsie Rolls.
You didn't hear him walking up and down the hallway like 20 times all morning long?
No, I couldn't hear him over the roosters at 5:30.
Well, that dog was trying everything to get somebody to open the door and put him out. So the Tootsie Rolls are there because nobody would open the door. Enjoy. There he goes to pick up Tootsie Rolls. Better him than me. Notice that I left them for him, so it wasn't part of my plan. Anyway, that's a joke that goes along with our show. Anyway, so we did this imaging thing that we were talking about in this book, and the way they have it is you're supposed to have an image. What's the matter? Can't find something? You're supposed to have an image of what you want in your life. Okay, so like, your success, what you want your success to look like, what you want your life to look like, or something. So there's like these different steps to it, and then one of them is to write out in great detail what your life looks like. You're supposed to like picture it as if it's already happened, and then you're supposed to write a sentence that says when you're going to start and when you're going to have this completed, and then you're supposed to put it around your house. You're supposed to copy it and put it around your house, and you're supposed to be able to see it at least 3 times a day. Read it at least 3 times a day. So you're supposed to stick it all over the place so that you're looking at it and you're thinking about it, and you're not, and all this different kind of stuff. So, so mine was basically about my health, and trying to be healthy and happy, get rid of the depression and the being productive, being able to actually get my house in order, make my rooms look nice and be able to clean everything and keep up with laundry and my garden and stuff. I mean, all of that right now is not done. I mean, none of it's done because I can't. So, but to be able to do all of that, you were really annoying me. Can you not just like chill somehow? Just here, like just chill out and just okay, there. And so and then his was to try to be able to have the radio stations pay all of the bills for our home because he started having like 5 jobs and he's never home, and he's home, but he's never home. He's always like having to do stuff. I mean, there's always like texting and calling and stuff. And having a lawn care business and the band and the radio business and the DJ business and all these different things that he does, there's just too much on his plate. He's stretched very, very thin, and then having to compensate for me not being able to do things. So he wrote his sentence out, and so we're going to make copies of that, put it all over the house, and it's a pastor that writes these books, and he said, and then like the last step is God is your co-pilot, basically, and you pray over things. You pray before you go to, like, if he goes someplace to for funding for the station for like a radio advertisement or whatever, he says a prayer before going in, and stuff like that. It's just different things that you can do. And one of the most interesting things that I came across a while back ago was, and I may have said this already, but I don't know. But the story in the Bible, it talks about Jesus walking on water. Everybody knows that story. Well, what some people don't know is that when he was walking on water, there's different gospels have the stories a little bit different. But when he was walking on the water, one of his disciples said, "Call me to you so I can walk on the water too." And so he did. So he said, "Well, come out and come to me." And when he was walking out to him, he was doing fine. He was walking on the water. He was doing fine. And at some point, the waves started to get a little bit rougher. The water wasn't as even or whatever. And he started to sink. And so Jesus reached out his hand and pulled him up and said, "Why did you doubt?" Because that's what made him sink. And what I never caught is the line, "Why did you doubt?" Because, we know in the story, we know why he sank. It was because he doubted. But I never put it into my own life and, whatever. And how many times do you think, okay, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to do this business. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to work at this thing. I'm going to improve my life with, whatever. And then all of a sudden there's something that comes along that makes you doubt, that makes you go, I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. This isn't going to work. I don't have what it takes, or you have someone who says you can't do that. I remember when my husband started his lawn care business, he had both my mom and, I guess Justin's here, he had both my mom and my mother-in-law both said, "You can't do that." And he just kind of looked at them, and I looked at them, and I was like, "What are you doing? You're supposed to encourage your child." Gracie has a thing about Tires and deer, so it's either a deer or a tire. Anyway, so that's one of those, you can read the Bible 100 times and then come across something that you've read over and over again, and you're like, oh wow, why did you doubt? That's why you were sinking. Stop doubting so you can get up back on the water. Don't doubt, because when you doubt, you sink. So yeah, so that's what Bruce and I we're reading that book on imaging, and it's it's pretty interesting. He tells a bunch of stories about a bunch of people who he talked to, and he had like a lady who was wanted to lose weight, but just saw herself in the future as gaining more and more weight. He said, okay, well, for one, we need to change your image, because what you're seeing, that is going to cause you to be in that situation. It's going to cause you to gain weight and be in that situation. And so he said, we're going to, that's probably his alarm's going off in there. His phone alarm, probably. So he told this woman, he said, okay, for one, I want you to picture, what weight do you want to be? Exactly. What measurements do you want to be? And he drew like this picture of a body image on a piece of paper. And he said, I want you to put numbers on here. He said, and I want you to tell me, when do you want to, be, what weight do you want to be, and when do you want to be this size and whatever. And on that day, I want you to send me an email and tell me that you accomplished that. And so they made it for like January 1st or something like that. And or they some date, 11 months from whenever they had talked. And he said, on that day, I waited to see if I'd get that email. He said, I didn't get the email. And it was on a Sunday. And so he went and did his service. And he said this woman came up to him at the end of the service, and he didn't recognize her at first. But whatever he told her to say on the email, she said to him. And that's how he knew it was her. And he said, are you 128 pounds? And she goes, I'm 127. And so anyway, it so he's got a bunch of stories like that on there, and it's pretty neat. So are you good? Are you happy? I'm going to show everybody what you're doing, how you're just being a little chill bug. Yeah? You happy? You content sitting here? Mommy has to get up, put some makeup on, because I've got a show to do. Yeah? Do you love me? Yeah? Okay. Okay. So that is me for today. Join us on our morning show if you're listening right now, which I probably won't post this right away. So anyway, but every Friday morning we have a morning show on Texas46radio.com. He also has a class that's a country classic country radio station, Texas Country and Classic Country. And then he has a radio station that's called therockvault.us, and that one is a classic rock. And I mean like not like 80s rock. I mean like classic rock. That's just stuff that you don't hear anymore. They just don't play it anymore. And so so he has that one. He has a lot of listeners. He has more listeners on that station than he does the other station. If you know of anybody that wants to, sponsor or advertise or whatever on that, let us know. And but the country station every Friday morning from 9 to about 12 Central Standard Time, we have our morning show. And it's just nonsense. It's just us talking and teasing each other and talking about weird facts and stuff. It's funny. I mean, sometimes we have a taste test. I think Justin's bringing a taste test this morning. So it's fun stuff. And so always feel free to join us on Friday mornings. And if you're if you like the website and the page or whatever, you can actually message us and kind of communicate through the show and tell us. We have a few every once in a while we're like, what is the name of that thing? And then all of a sudden my followers will pop up with the answer. And I'm like, okay, that's what it is. Yeah, I got there. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Megan. Anyway, so y'all have an awesome day, and I'm gonna go get myself dressed. I have a little bit, about 30 minutes. It only takes me about 15. I don't do much. So y'all have a great day, and we will probably talk to you tomorrow. And this is going to be this should be in the YouTube channel and on my craft page. So anyway, yeah, y'all have a great day.